KVNU.
The information from the pretty balanced perspective.
Online at kvnutalk.com and on the KVNU mobile app.
KVNU News Time, 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by the Duck Hunter. More news emerged today regarding the Delta variant during a Facebook media briefing when two University of Utah doctors agreed the way to stop the variant is to get vaccinated. Dr. Sankar Swaminathan and Stephen Goldberg said the Delta variant is on its way to becoming dominant in Utah. They say it spreads much faster than other strains, and it can cause more serious illness. The Utah Department of Health Tuesday report indicates 1.3 or almost 1.35 million Utahns are fully vaccinated, while 1.57 million, or 48% of all Utahns, have received at least one dose of vaccine. Over the course of the pandemic, about 2.79 million total vaccines have been administered statewide. As of today, 49.8% of all adults in northern Utah have been immunized. A total of 142,382 doses have been administered in the Bear River Health District. Today's Utah Department of Health report includes 249 new cases of the coronavirus since yesterday. The Bear River Health District reported 4 new positives included in the new total of 22,207 cases since the pandemic began. To date, in the Bear River Health District, there have been 949 hospitalizations and 106 coronavirus deaths. KVNU News Time is 5:06. KVNU weather for tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight low in the low 60s. And then partly sunny tomorrow, around 91 for the high. By Wednesday night, there's a 20% chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Overnight low in the low 60s, and then a 40% chance of a shower or thunderstorm Thursday morning. Slight chance in the afternoon on Thursday. Not as warm, around 86 for the high. After hitting 93, it's 91 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, Cache Valley's most trusted name in hearing aid technology. Call 753-HEAR.
Did you just build a home or remodel your current home? Well, if so, John at the Duct Hunter says you should have your heating ducts cleaned as soon as possible and change out to a high-quality furnace filter. The dust from construction, sawdust, drywall, and more is sitting in your ductwork. Your furnace filter's probably clogged. You'd be surprised what John has found in air ducts, toys, construction debris, and rodents. Let the Duct Hunter clean the ducts today. Call for a free consultation. The Duct Hunter, 770-4813.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duct Hunter.
KVNU News Time is 5:08. A family member has identified the victims of a plane crash in Utah last week as a Montana woman and her 6-year-old granddaughter. Alexandria Siegel of Havre, Montana, tells Fox 13 News in Salt Lake City that her mother, Virginia Siegel, and her daughter, Elise Lawrence, were in the plane that crashed in the Deseret Peak Wilderness west of Salt Lake City last Thursday, sparking a wildfire. Virginia Siegel was an experienced pilot and flew helicopters for the U.S. Army. Siegel and Elise were traveling to California when the plane crashed. The cause is under investigation. And U.S. wildfire officials expect increased fire activity and more demand for firefighters, and so have raised the national preparedness to level 4, which is unusual for June. The National Interagency Fire Center raised the level today and says it's the second earliest it reached that level on the 1 to 5 scale since 1990. It's also only the 4th time in the last 20 years to reach that level in June. Officials say more than 8,700 wildland firefighters are currently battling 47 wildfires that have burned more than 800 square miles. Wildfire officials say much of the U.S. West is in a drought with a challenging wildfire season ahead. KBNU News Time is 5:09. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
Keeping you informed. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, and online at 610kvnu.com.
Attention homeowners! You may have noticed the ground shift after your foundation has been poured, causing your house to sink or settle. Protect your investment from issues before they happen. Polylift Concrete Raising and Piering will stabilize, lift, and eliminate further settling by using Magnum Piering products to save you big money down the road. Polylift Concrete Raising and Piering are the foundation lifting experts. Visit poly-lift.com to schedule your free assessment or call or text 435-999-9309. Polylift is locally owned and operated.
As the summer's war against weeds and pests rages on, a new bug threat starts hopping around, destroying garden plants and flowers. Luckily, you are ready for them with Logan Extermination's Perimeter Grasshopper Control. It's like a minefield for the minute menace.
Good job, men. Another bug bites the dirt. Let's regroup before the next wave hits.
They do what they are trained to do. Strike terror into termites, bash the bed bugs, and cook the cockroaches. Remember the brave men and women at Logan Extermination. Call 752-8450.
Prices start at only $65.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous.
5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of today's show. It is Tuesday. I had to think about that, even though it's Hour 2. Tuesday, June 22nd. KVNU is for the people. I'm Jason Williams. Bill Walter here in the studio as well. And we are going to jump right in because we have two very special guests here in the studio to talk about a celebration that's happening this year. And it has, it ripples out into almost everything. So we'll spend some quality time on this hour. Celebrating 50 years. I knew it had been a while. I didn't know it had been 50 years for Bridgerland Technical College. The school has evolved and changed in many different ways over the years. And as I said in Hour 1, technical colleges are really having their day right now for a lot of different reasons. So we'll have a chance to talk about this with our guests here in the studio. Joining us for this 50-year celebration that's happening in 2021. We have in the studio with us president of the college, Chad Campbell, here with us, and also Frank Stewart, who is the chief development officer at Bridgerland Technical College. And folks, I appreciate taking some time for KVNU today, especially coming all the way down so we can have this conversation in person. I've missed people. It's been a year plus for Bill and I of Zoom interviews and phone interviews only. We do them a lot, but only phone interviews. So it's nice to have people in the studio. There's so much to talk about around this. I don't even know where to start. How about you, Chad, as president? Where would you like to start on when it comes to 50 years of Bridgerland Technical College? What's the first thing you want people to think of?
Well, let me begin by telling you how much we appreciate the opportunity to be here today, the opportunity to talk a little bit about Bridgerland Technical College. We're excited about the opportunity to celebrate 50 years of our existence. And Bridgerland was created in 1971. And so we're celebrating 50 years during all of 2021. And we have a big celebration event coming up here on June 25th on Friday between 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. We're working really hard to try to get our graduates and our former alumni, all of our faculty and staff, to come and celebrate, in the community to come and celebrate. Maybe one of the harder things that I do in my job is try to help people understand the value of technical education And that's part of the reason why we want to get people together and see just how successful our graduates are, our alumni are, and excited to get people together.
That's and nice that we can again, right? With vaccinations and the pandemic winding down. Perfect time, really, to be celebrating 50 years rather than doing it last year. For me, this is such a unique opportunity to talk to you because I've been fascinated by technical colleges for a lot of different reasons. Some of them, having to do with my personal professional life, but also just as a news junkie, as a public policy junkie. The debate during the legislative session this year and last over funding for different colleges and schools. The technical college is having its day, and I feel it's a bit overdue. I hope it has some longevity to it. For you, Chad, for you, Frank, would you like to speculate on why? Why now? What is it that's making people, including policymakers, say, hey, this is a big part of the future?
Jason, thanks for having us. But I think one thing is I still look at myself as somewhat of a convert to technical education. I've been a professional fundraiser for over 20 years in higher education.
Oh, very cool.
But at Bridgerland for just about 4 years now. And it is incredible to see the kind of programs that we have, and more importantly, how much need there is for our students out in the workplace in northern Utah.
Sure.
We just have so many brick walls, much like Bridgerland's, where the general public doesn't really know what's going on inside. But we have companies that are serving all across the world, all across the country with various products and services. So we're pretty spoiled here in northern Utah, and that's our main objective, is to prepare students for careers in those areas, and then workforce supply is some of the key verbiage that we use at Bridgerland. So
that is, technical colleges have an ability to be a bit more responsive when it comes to industry demands, and how I've always wondered, how do you? Because some of this requires, I guess, a bit of crystal ball reading, right? Like you have to say, programs that will be offered at a technical college over the next year or two, you have to be able to say what's going to be in demand, what's going to be hot. Bridgerland has a good track record with that, right? What informs those decisions?
So deciding what program to do next is always a tricky thing. And let me share some, if you don't mind, some operating characteristics of the technical college that might be a little bit different than what people typically think of when they think about higher education. So our operating characteristics include words like open entry, open exit, competency-based, individual-paced, where it's easy for us to give credit for prior learning, and where our educational outcomes are aligned from the beginning, from start to finish. So educational outcomes are aligned with the needs of business and industry. So how do we know which program to start next? Well, business and industry tells us. Demand for employees tell us.
Sure.
And all we have to do is pay attention to the employers in the community, have a relationship with the employers here in the Valley, find out what their needs are, when they need graduates, and what skills those graduates need, and it's really easy for us to meet their needs. Another operating characteristic of Bridgerland that I think has some value is what we like to refer to it as our secret weapon. Our hands-on training. Our training is very hands-on, very competency-based, and as a result of that, even though most schools across the country found themselves in a situation during the last year when they had to either close down completely or deliver all of their curriculum or their education remotely through some type of online learning mechanism, while we have the ability to teach remotely, the preponderance of our education requires hands-on.
Sure.
And I have to say, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Let's use welding as an example.
Yeah, difficult to weld over Zoom,
you
right?
can't weld over Zoom. That's right.
Doesn't work so well.
And welding in an educational setting is the definition of social distancing. We take students into a welding booth. They wear a mask. They wear large leather gloves. The air there's new fresh air put into that welding booth continuously, and exhaust fumes are taken out of that booth continuously.
And no one else wants to be in there with them.
And nobody wants to be in there with
right?
them. So as a result, Bridgerland might be one of the very few schools in the entire country that actually graduated more students in fiscal year 2020 than we did the previous year, because we didn't even slow down.
Yeah.
And we did it safely and carefully, but because of the hands-on nature and because of just because of the way we deliver instruction, we met the needs of the employers in our region.
That is, it's fascinating stuff, and again, it speaks to this responsiveness, this flexibility that can exist at a technical college as opposed to different education environments. For listeners, again, our guests here in studio, we have with us the president of Bridgerland Technical College, Chad Campbell, and Chief Development Officer Frank Stewart here in studio. If you have a question or a comment, you're welcome to join us, 753-5868. On the other side, we'll talk about the last 50 years and maybe the next as well for technical colleges throughout the nation, but specifically celebrating 50 years at Bridgerland Technical College this summer, established in 1971. Part of the celebration will include, this is very fun, animal science petting zoo for kids to learn about animals. There will be a car show, including student projects hosted by the Automotive Service, Auto Collision, and the Diesel schools. Design a free T-shirt booths will be available. A Police Academy Nerf gun target shoot competition that really would be fun to see. And brief messages given by students, faculty, and more. This is all a part of the Bridgerland 50th anniversary celebration taking place June 25th, 3 to 8 p.m. At the Logan, Maine campus. This is an open event. Bring the family, free food, free fun. And we'll be back with our guests a bit more about Bridgerland's 50th anniversary right after this.
Want to cut your cooling costs this summer and save money? Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning to schedule a free evaluation of your system and get their preseason special. With a highly efficient York air conditioning system, you can save up to 50% in energy costs while enjoying more consistent temperatures throughout your home. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, at 752-7272 or stop by our showroom west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Visionary Homes would like to introduce you to Archibald Estates, a brand new community in Tremonton, with townhomes starting in the low 200s, single family and active adult homes starting in the upper 200s. You're sure to find the perfect home for you and your family. Just minutes away from schools, parks, golfing, restaurants, and grocery, yet tucked in the lush green fields of Tremonton. Visionary Homes understands what you want in a home. Visit buildwithvisionary.com to learn more about Archibald Estates in Tremonton. Visionary Homes, built for living, built for you.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Wednesday on This Morning, America's First News. A sharp rise in violent crime has caught the attention of the White House. Now the Biden administration says it has a plan. Also, April saw the largest one-month exodus of workers in years. Why are retail workers quitting at such a high rate? And an efficient way to lose those extra pandemic pounds. Wednesday on This Morning, America's First News. From 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM. Your station for news and talk.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. I'm Jason Williams, joined in studio by two very special guests to celebrate 50 years of Bridgerland Technical College here in Cache Valley. The celebration coming up June 25th. That's this Friday, 3 to 8 p.m. at the Logan, Maine campus. This is open to the public. It's a family event, free food, free fun, T-shirt designing booths, Police Academy Nerf gun target shoot competitions, Messages from students, staff, and faculty would be presented. A car show with student projects, an animal petting zoo through the animal science students. They're setting that up. All of that this Friday, 3 to 8 p.m. at the Logan Main campus. 50 years of Bridgerland Technical College. And here in studio with us, we have President of Bridgerland Technical College, Chad Campbell, and the Chief Development Officer for the school, Frank Stewart. Guys, we did have a caller through the break there that had a question. Said the caller currently works full-time during the day, but would like to take classes. What are his or her options? And that actually is a great segue into where we wanted to go with this next segment here. Both the role of Bridgerland for the last 50 years, the role for the next 50. But it all comes down to that, right? You've got this person, full-time job, and they want to beef up their education. That's what Bridgerland is for, right?
Yeah, of course, our mission and role, like Frank mentioned earlier, is exclusively, we can summarize it in 2 words from a student point of view, and those are the words career preparation. And from an employer point of view, the words workforce supply. That's why we exist. So what's available to somebody that's working full-time? We try very hard to have our certificate-seeking programs available for students in an open entry, open exit format from early in the morning until late in the evening. And many of them are available that way. Most of them are available that way. Those that aren't available from early in the morning till late in the evening are typically the restriction is staffing, the ability, the budget to be able to have sufficient staff to run it in the evening. I'm going to give you some examples of programs that are available throughout the day that are in high demand. Throughout the day and the evening. Our automated manufacturing program.
Which has won awards, right?
Which has won
we should mention
amazing awards. We'd put our automated manufacturing, controls engineering technician programs up against any automated manufacturing program in the state of Utah and maybe other states. Other programs that are available day and evening, welding, machining technology, some of the medical professions, dental assisting is available, business technology is available,
IT, web design.
Information technology, web and mobile development. These kinds of programs are available pretty much anywhere from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Sure. And I should say I've done this myself. It was years ago, but I am a beneficiary of some up training in the IT world about 10 years ago, evening classes at Bridgerland. And I'll just say this as a testimonial for this caller and for others out there listening. It is so easy. I had attended, I had a degree from the University of Oregon and USU combined. The process of getting registered, becoming a student at Bridgerland was slick. And it's even better now. So websites were just barely in use at the time. I'm dating myself here. For this caller and for others, I should mention this. We haven't yet, but everything you need to know about this, programs, upcoming and ongoing registration, evening classes, day classes, different schools, the different program tracks that you might want to look at, financial aid scholarships, all of that stuff at the website for Bridgerland Technical College, which is btech.edu. So that's one-stop shopping there. And also information there about the upcoming 50th celebration this Friday, 3 to 8 p.m. at the Logan Main campus. I tell you guys, I'm going to be there for the Police Academy Nerf gun target shooting. This sounds hilarious to me, but and the student car show as well. This is, so 50 years. A lot has changed. I'm old enough to remember Bridgerland Vocational School. Was that, am I getting that right?
In the ballpark.
Yeah, and that was, and I remember at my high school you could get some release. If you were ahead enough with your high school credits, you could go over to Bridgerland and take, auto shop classes, all kinds of things. It's a lot different today, right?
Yes, of course. And so during my tenure at Bridgerland, we've had 4 name changes.
Wow.
And we facetiously say we've had more name changes than snow closure days because we don't close when it snows.
That's
we
right.
live in northern Utah, and
we're used to it.
And we're used to it. No, so to give a little bit of history, Bridgerland, I'm the fourth president at Bridgerland Technical College. The first one is a gentleman by the name of Stanley Richardson, who served for about 3 years, then a gentleman by the name of Sam Gordon for another several years. Then Dr. Richard L. Mon became president. He was the president of Bridgerland for 40 years, and he made amazing changes at the college, turned it into a college. When I started, the name was Bridgerland Area Vocational Center. And
that's right. BATC. I can't believe I forgot that.
We've been to Bridgerland Area Vocational Center, Bridgerland Applied Technology Center, Bridgerland Applied Technology College, and now our name, Bridgerland Technical College.
Which really is the best fit, I think, for if people want to understand what Bridgerland does. I think Technical College is the best fit yet in names.
Absolutely. And we, in those early years, I wasn't here for all of them. I know of a lot of the stories, but I've been here for a lot of those years. We started out offering courses and then eventually technical education programs in rented facilities throughout the valley, wherever we could possibly get one, wherever we could find a vacant space. And President Mon was successful back in the early 80s in getting the legislature to purchase the old Wurlitzer piano factory.
Yes.
And over a period of years turned that Wurlitzer piano factory into a state-of-the-art technical college. And then later on he was successful in getting another manufacturing facility, the Bourne's printed circuit board facility.
Across the street.
The street. He got that acquired from the legislature in a brilliant move. I won't go into the details, but just know it was really a brilliant technique that he used to get that building funded. And that became now both of those two facilities. One of the things that we're really excited about is during this most recent legislative session, we were finally funded for Bridgerland's very first purpose-built health science building. It was designed from the ground up exclusively for health sciences. And we're the only public higher education institution in the state of Utah that's never built a new building.
Sure.
So we're really excited. This is a first. We think it will once again change the image one more time about the value of technical education. That Wurlitzer piano factory looks like a manufacturing facility, and you have to work hard to know that there's a technical college in there.
Sure.
Jason, I may be dating myself as well, but I remember driving my Stingray down here in the 60s around the
That's right.
Wurlitzer piano factory. The train tracks went in through the south entry.
Yeah.
So this new health sciences building is just going to be fantastic for us. I don't know
amazing.
If people know the 5 or 6 programs that we have included in the health sciences, but I was amazed when I started at Bridgerland to know that we have one of the most incredible nursing articulations in the country with Weber State. We work with Utah State, but our students are just incredible. President, you can speak a little more to the detail on that.
Well, one of the things we're really excited about our nursing program, we even have employees who don't remember or don't know that we have a nursing program. In our nursing program, we're limited in what we can offer to a practical nursing credential, so the PN credential, but in the last 23 years, we've only had 5 students in 23 years that didn't pass the NCLEX exam on the first try. Not only do we have a near 100% pass rate in nursing, but we have a near 100% graduation rate in nursing. Some schools have really good graduation rates. Others have really good NCLEX exam pass rates. There are very few that have 100% with both.
And that speaks to the way things are done at Bridgerland, I think, right? The opportunity that a technical college offers. I hate to grossly understate this, but the only way I can think to put it is fewer distractions. I mean, you are a student there for a purpose. You get that done, and you move on to your career.
Sure.
Is that?
We don't have a mascot. We don't have a football team. We don't have a lot of those student activities that we would like to have a little more of as far as the social aspect of it.
It's interesting, though, Bridgerland, you guys have done a great job, though, still, of keeping yourselves tied to the community. I know
Absolutely.
I know this through other friends of the show and frequent guests. All the folks at Cash Makers and the 4-H, you guys have been great. You know, you give them some space to work their robotics competitions, things like that. So you've managed to still tie yourself to the community through use of space and events and things like that. I assume that's an intentional decision to do that?
Yeah, sure. One of our primary goals at the 30,000-foot level is relationships with employers, relationships with city and county leaders, relationships with other community organizations, working really hard with the Cash Chamber of Commerce and their president, Jamie Andrus. We work really hard to be involved in the community because maybe one of the other really hard things I do is try to convince people that the state of Utah extends farther north than the Weber County line.
The legislature forgets that sometimes.
It never ceases to amaze me how many people forget that, and yet I don't think the President Noel Cockett up at USU, I don't think she has to deal with that. I think people know USU's here.
Sure.
And they should, and they're a wonderful school, wonderful college, wonderful university. But it's something we have to deal with all the time is to help people recognize that Bridgerland Technical College is here and that we exist to help employers.
And the real tragedy of that, I think, is that these opportunities that are right here in our own backyard, I know so many people that would benefit from them at a very reasonable expense, even, a lot of financial aid available. And I hear people all the time in my profession talking with others in the nonprofit world, for example, and they'll say, oh, if I could only get this. And I always want to say, you can.
Sure.
It's right there.
Well, Jason, you're absolutely right in that one of the things we're trying to do a much, much better job of is just exposing the public and the students at a younger age about the great opportunities that are available. One of the short-term effects of COVID is that we've been unable to have our career days.
Sure.
Festival that we usually do in May, we have 3,500 middle schoolers that come to campus and get hands-on experience. They can step into that cement mixer or work with nursing faculty, whatever the case might, the fire hoses, those sorts of things. So they get a hands-on opportunity to see, hey, this is kind of cool stuff. And that's the opportunity. We're providing a little bit of that this Friday as far as showcasing again a lot of our programs and giving that experience. And then, President, just one aspect on top of the opportunities that exist is that one of the critical aspects that we work with is that 100% testing, but also high placement. So students come there with the intent, like you mentioned, to get an education and get a career and get into the workplace.
So it's not just, here's your degree, good luck.
Right.
You work to get people into the industries.
Yeah, our accrediting organization has a requirement that we have a 60% graduation rate or completion rate, and that we have a placement rate of 70% and a licensure rate of 70%. Those are minimum thresholds, and we way exceed those thresholds. There's not even we're not even close to those numbers. Placement rates in the high 80s, which means our students graduate and go to work. It's interesting that we have this conversation. Just before coming over here, I got a chance to meet with one of our recent graduates. He graduated from both our automated manufacturing program and our controls engineering program, went to work for a local employer as an intern. They hired him as an intern because of his credentials at Bridgerland, but they were looking for somebody that had a bachelor's degree. or that was in the last 6 months of finishing their bachelor's degree, again, looking for an intern. They hired this student, this graduate. He's now worked both as an intern and now a permanent employee of the organization. And he is their senior controls engineer.
Oh, wow.
With a certificate in controls engineering technician.
That is
from Bridgerland.
That is a great testimonial, and it's an example of, I think, how people can benefit from this resource here in ways that you might not be thinking of right now. And I should throw this out for listeners as well. And maybe, Frank, maybe on the other side we can talk a bit more about this, you and I, as the development director there. But Bridgerland is, if you're unsure, they have a great entry program, is what I like to think of it as. If you are sitting there right now and you're thinking, maybe I'd like to change careers. Maybe I would like to beef up my education to just increase my salary in my current job. Any of those things, they actually have people that can walk you through this process and say, oh, you should do this, this, and this, and then get you started. Check it out. Again, it's btech.edu. The celebration coming up this Friday, the 50th anniversary of Bridgerland, being celebrated 3 to 8 p.m. at the Logan, Maine campus. Animal Science Petting Zoo, car show with student projects there, free T-shirt design booth from some of the media design students, Police Academy Nerf gun target shoot competition. That should be hilarious alone. And a lot of comments and remarks made by students, faculty, staff. A great opportunity to get to know Bridgerland if you don't already, to celebrate Bridgerland if you know them already. And again, all of this information available at btech.edu. We'll be back with more of For the People. As I understand it, President Campbell, you have to get going. Frank, maybe you can stick around with us for a while. We'll keep the conversation going.
I'd love to.
If you have a question or a comment, 753-5868. Now, a quick look at the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 5:41. The news is brought to you by U&I Furniture. Portions of Logan Canyon, US 89, are closed this afternoon into early this evening. The rolling closures could impact drivers traveling between Logan and Bear Lake. Utah Highway Patrol Sergeant Kate Brenchley said the temporary closures are between the Guinevere campground and the top of the Dugway near the Blind Hollow Trailhead. The closures taking place until around 8 p.m. to accommodate a production crew who is apparently filming in the canyon. Police are warning local residents about an increase in opioid abuse throughout the valley. Law enforcement officials report a significant rise in overdose cases and deaths driven largely by fentanyl found in counterfeit pills and illicit drugs. The Logan City Police Department posted on their social media sites that in Cache County, fentanyl is most commonly seen in blue, greenish, or pale-colored counterfeit pills. There are other colors also. These pills may be marked as M30 and sometimes as K9, 215, and V48. Fentanyl may also be in white powders. Officers warn residents to beware of counterfeit pills that may look like prescription drugs. They likely contain fentanyl. Also, do not consume any pill that you do not directly receive from a pharmacy or prescriber. Any pills purchased online are not safe. Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid drug that is approximately 100 times more powerful than other opioids. Fentanyl is often added to illicit street drugs such as fake pills and white powder. Fentanyl and other opioids cause overdose by slowing down breathing and eventually can cause death. And House Speaker Brad Wilson of Kaysville has put the kibosh on any talk of a legislative special session to address fireworks. Concern over fire danger has been high among Utah officials amid exceptional drought conditions and a wildfire season that roared to life earlier than usual. Last week, Governor Spencer Cox stated publicly he does not have the authority to enact a statewide ban on fireworks. Community support, including from State Representative Suzanne Harrison, Democrat from Draper, had surfaced around the idea of a special session in recent days as local leaders lamented not having the authority to implement an all-out ban on fireworks. KUTV reports that Wilson announced on Monday evening he did not believe it was necessary for the legislators to hold a special session at this time. He hoped that local leaders will determine what works best in their communities and that Utahns will act responsibly as they celebrate Independence Day and Pioneer Day together. He acknowledged that fire danger is high across the state and said that they have taken steps to empower local officials rather than imposing a statewide fireworks ban. KBNU News Time is 5:44.
UNI Furniture just acquired an entire showroom of furniture from the Las Vegas Furniture Market. Best Furniture, an American-made furniture company, delivered to UNI sectionals, sofas, recliners, lift chairs, accent chairs, ottomans, benches, and a whole lot more. These are one-time deals that will not be repeated, so shop early for the best selection. It really is just another reason that you'll always find a better buy at UNI Furniture. UNI Furniture, 28 West, 1st North in downtown Logan.
KBNU weather for tonight, partly cloudy skies, warmer overnight, low temperature in the low 60s, and then partly cloudy skies into the low 90s on Wednesday. Isolated thunderstorms Wednesday night before midnight, and then Thursday morning, a 40% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms, isolated storms in the afternoon, slight chance of showers afternoon on Friday. It's been to 93. It's 91 right now at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Chim Chimney in Logan and Brigham, your local low-pie wood stove dealer. Chim Chimney will work alongside you from planning to installation to move-in ready. Visit them at chimchimney.com. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
Oh, little piggy! Let me in or I'll blow this building down!
Nice try, Wolfie, but this here building's made from steel.
All right then, here goes! Gosh, that didn't work.
A building from Northern Steel Buildings will keep out the big bad wolf, and they don't break the piggy bank. Visit northernsteelbuildings.com to see their quality work or call 435-677-7300. Northern Steel Buildings. Value from concept to construction.
Projects outside go much better after a stop by Stevens Forest Products. Pick up bark, mulch, or compost by the bag for $1 or $2 less at Stevens, or buy it in bulk and save even more. Stevens is also your best source for flagstone, perfect for patios and walkways. Choose from 7 color choices. Pick up a few pieces or take home a pallet. Delivery options are available. Stevens is also home to over 5,000 in-stock railroad ties with prices beginning at $13.99. Stevens Forest Products, between Smithfield and Logan at 3277 North Main.
Pristine wilderness can still be found in the West, where creeks run freely and historic apple trees still bear fruit. Maple Creek Ranch features breathtaking canyon views and opportunities for real estate development. 2.5-acre lots are now available with adjacent wilderness areas that provide endless riding and recreational possibilities. So find your piece of paradise just 35 minutes from Logan at Maple Creek Ranch. Schedule your appointment online at maplecreekranch.net.
Did you get a landscape plan and now wonder, what's next? You need Canyon Landscaping. They can build any plan into a signature landscape. Since 1999, their team has viewed educating clients as a crucial part of every project. This ensures customers get the best finished landscape for their specific site. No two sites are the same, so be sure to come to the experts with expertise and knowledge of delivering on any landscape plan. Call 752-3838 or go to canyonlandscaping.com. Canyon Landscaping. Look for the leaf.
I'm Larry Gelwigs, the getaway guru for Columbus Travel and Princess Cruises. Starting this July, Alaska Cruises are back. Sail with Princess and get free drinks, free Wi-Fi, free prepaid gratuities, and for a limited time, up to $200 onboard credit, which is like free money to spend on your Alaska cruise. Call Columbus Travel, 800-373-3328 or online at columbusvacations.com. Thanks, Columbus.
If you live in the south end of the valley, no doubt you've noticed the historical Hiram Granary taking an important role in our new Cache Valley Bank location. I'm Catherine Buse, branch manager. Keeping in touch with our history while looking to the future is part of Cache Valley Bank's mission. Hiram is Cache Valley Bank's 7th location in the valley. Join us for food and giveaways as we celebrate our Hiram branch grand opening June 26th. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Buck Sexton. I'm so excited to be joining you here on the mighty EIB, the house that Rush built, with the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show.
Hey, Clay Travis here, and look, I want to say thank you to all of you who are diehard Rush Limbaugh fans. Buck Sexton and I know that we are never going to replace Rush, but we also know that the battles that Rush was fighting are even more important today than they ever have been before.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM at 610 AM.
Feels like Tuesday. Tuesday has no feel.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Something a little interesting about the music you're hearing right now. This song...
all 1971.
Yeah, this song came out the year Bridgerland Technical College, as we know it today, was founded and first opened its doors. 50 years ago, this year, Bridgerland became a thing here in Cache Valley. And as President Chad Campbell mentioned before the news there, it's evolved, it's changed. The name's changed 4 times, 4 different presidents. It's very different today than it was in its founding, but still serving a primary role, which is offering an education that, this is not an overstatement, you really can't get anywhere else. I've told a little bit this hour how I benefited from Bridgerland. I also have some friends who, one friend got a college degree in something, decided to take a technical college class, turned his life in a completely different direction, and he's now programming F-35s at Hill Air Force Base because of a technical college course. So yeah, these are big deals, and Frank's sticking around with us. President Campbell had to move on to another appointment, but Frank Stewart, Chief Development Officer at Bridgerland, is still with us, talking about the 50th anniversary. And Frank, I'm always hesitant to say this because it almost sounds like I'm underselling the school, but I always want to tell people, it's cheap. This is a very economical way, and there's plenty of financial aid available too, just like any college. But even if you're just paying out of pocket, this is an affordable way to boost your education, to increase your salary at current job, change careers, without walking away with 2 decades of student loans to pay off.
Absolutely, that's one of the critical aspects of what we're trying to do publicly is make sure that our high school students realize that they can take Bridgerland courses actually by legislative mandate from the governor and from the legislature for no cost. And every year we're excited to see a couple of students that come through and actually graduate from high school with a certificate simultaneously from Bridgerland. And they step into programs. The legislature is so committed to getting high school students into technical education as a stackable credential or an opportunity to get a skill, that they've actually provided student scholarships for graduating seniors to come into technical education for almost 100% of their student tuition and fees. So when you talk about an affordable opportunity to get a skill and then go right into the workplace or actually use that to go on to another associate or bachelor's degree without putting that whole student loan on your back. These are great opportunities for students to gradually work into a skill in a workplace environment.
I think it can't be overvalued. A lot of us as adults can look back and say, here's why this is a big deal. For younger people, maybe it's a little more difficult to wrap their head around. But I always like to put it this way: when I think about technical, when someone says, should I explore this option? A conversation with a family member a few years ago, I said, if you do decide to pursue a full-on 4-year college degree, making a bit more money while you're doing that because you got a decent job because of a technical program is not going to be awful. You're going to enjoy that. No. So there's that aspect of it, but this is also endpoint education, right? This is not just a filler in between this or that. People start and finish and move into their careers through Bridgerland.
Absolutely.
More often, right?
For example, the president talked about automated manufacturing. We have machining. We have welding. We have our health science programs, et cetera.
Which is about to expand, right?
Exactly.
As
we'll
we discussed.
probably, once we complete our new health sciences building, we anticipate doubling our student population in those health science areas. And as we talked about, we know what the shortage is across the state and across the country for nurses and medical assisting, et cetera. But it is a fantastic opportunity for students to get an experience. You know, we all go through high school and then wonder what we want to be when we grow up. And we experiment, we look at different opportunities. Technical education is a great opportunity to get in and get some experience, put your hands in that technical education world and try a bunch of different things to find out what you really enjoy.
Sure.
And getting into the workplace the same way. You get an experience.
And so many workplaces, this is, for listeners, if you'd like to see what we're talking about, Frank and I here, visit btech.edu. That's the Bridgerland Technical College's website, btech.edu. Click on programs at the top there, and I'll just run through, so just randomly jumping around here. There are programs in business technology, real estate, drafting, IT and cybersecurity. That's huge right now. Web and mobile development, even huger right now. The cloud, as you've probably heard it. Yes, they actually have programs where you will learn how to build apps. And there is no more aggressive field out there right now, I think, than that. As far as finding a job, construction and transportation programs, from heavy equipment to, as we mentioned, welding and diesel shop class, basically, as you would know it, but actually leaving as a certified mechanic. No shortage of jobs in that world, to say the least. But it goes on. There's cosmetology, interior design, culinary arts, meat services, practical nursing, phlebotomy, that's big right now, animal sciences, dental assisting. Again, just jumping around here. One of my favorites, and I almost want to take this one for fun, Frank, but data analytics. Oh, that's coming soon.
That is coming within the next year and a half.
That is the hot thing right now.
Absolutely. We're very excited to offer those programs. And as we talked earlier, we work very closely with industry and with our organizations around us here in the community to find out what their needs are, and then we try to be responsive to that. We work closely with the legislature to fund faculty members to start those programs. And that data analytic program is one of our newest. We also started a massage therapy program the 1st of January, and that's a response to a need in our communities. So that's how quickly we respond.
Well, in every business right now, regardless of the industry they operate in, is looking for analytics.
Absolutely.
We have all this data. We're collecting all this information, and everyone needs to say, okay, how do we use this? So that to me, that was so exciting to see that announcement a few weeks ago. I think I first saw the data analytics program coming to Bridgerland. But for listeners, again, it's just kind of an example of what you can find right there in our own backyard. btech.edu, again, their website. Let me run through the details here one more time for the celebration. It's this Friday, 50 years of Bridgerland Technical College here in Cache Valley, and that is this Friday, June 25th, 3 to 8 p.m. at the Logan Main campus there. And here is just a quick rundown. I'm excited about the Police Academy Nerf Gun Target Practice Competition. That's going to be fun to watch. But the design students are going to have a free T-shirt design booth. The Student Projects Car Show, hosted by automotive service students and auto collision and diesel students. Animal Sciences Petting Zoo. Also remarks made by staff, students, and more. I should have mentioned this earlier, but excavator, some heavy equipment is going to be on hand.
Absolutely.
To see.
People can jump up in the box and actually operate that utility.
That's all I needed to hear to get me there, basically. There are a few of these I've always wanted to operate. So.
Jason Bill was playing some songs from the 70s. We want to just mention that we're going to have live bands from 3 to 8 o'clock. Wasatch Back is going to join us and some of the others. So
nice.
A lot of us enjoyed Summerfest last weekend, and this will be an extension of that a little bit because we will have live music going on.
That is, and there is a theme for this, as you mentioned, with it, 1971 being the first year of Bridgerland here in Cache Valley. The theme is B-Tech through the groovy years. So maybe if you've got some bell bottoms there in your closet,
absolutely
wear those out to the event.
Long cuffs, clogs. I don't know if people know what those are anymore, but
this is amazing. I knew it had been a long time. I had no idea Frank had been this long. Really appreciate your time, and President Campbell, if you're out there listening, appreciate you sticking around for a lot longer than we'd asked for today.
Well, thank you for hosting us, Jason and Bill. We really appreciate it.
I get really excited about the technical colleges. If you're looking at software development, cloud services, anything mechanical or electronic engineering, nursing, business, real estate, so many different fields, Bridgerland is something you should check out. And I'll just say, I'm not being paid by them to say that. I'm saying this through experience. So check it out and get out to the celebration again, 3 to 8 p.m. this Friday, June 25th at Logan Main Campus. Petting zoos, free T-shirt design booths, a car show with student projects, heavy equipment that you actually get to operate, a police academy Nerf gun target shoot competition, and more. Our guests again this hour have been President Chad Campbell of Bridgerland Technical College and Chief Development Officer Frank Stewart. Thanks to you both for your time. Dave Ramsey.